Praise and praise the Lord, in the light. yourself. You bring forth tonight.
It's true, Lord, and I pray that you just work in their lives, Lord. I pray for the service tonight, Lord, just up to them, give us a blessing. Pray for all of your precious name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you. All right, a couple of quick things for you. On the 8th, that's the second Saturday in September. Thank you. I forgot what month we're coming into. On the 8th, 6th of September is the men's prayer breakfast. It'll be 9:30. We'll have the sign-up sheet for that coming up sometime, I guess, in the next week out there in the vestibule. And then the 13th, which is the Thursday after that, is the Wings meeting. And so the Buzzards are meeting on Saturday, and then the Wings are meeting on Thursday. Okay? So that's how that works. But the Wings will meet on that next Thursday, and it'll be revealing the Secret Sisters. So make sure you come to that. Sign up for that. We'll get the sign-up sheet and all that together. And of course, in the bulletin, it was a little bit of a miscommunication. On the 14th, not the 7th of October, but the 14th of October, we're having our homecoming with the Homeland Boys. It'll be a good time for everybody. So invite your friends, bring food on the 5th and all that stuff on the 5th at 5 o'clock. This Tuesday, the sign-up sheet out in the vestibule, of course, for desserts, if you can bring a dessert. Now this morning, I misspoke a little bit and I said a covered dish dessert. And that was corrected. Do not bring a covered dish dessert. We just want desserts. They can be naked. It's okay. All right? But if you can sign up, we do have 7 or 8 more slots out there. We do need that thing filled out. So if you can help out with that at all, you sign up at the sign-up sheet in the vestibule, and you can get those here by Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Any desserts you want.
Excuse me, we're providing lunch for the Moore family after the funeral is what we're doing. So it's not just cake. We'll get food prepared and you'll be bringing dessert perhaps. But we're doing this for the Moore family after the funeral on Tuesday. It's not, I didn't know if y'all understood that or not.
There we go. He can explain it better than I can because he's the pastor. He knows what's going on.
Yeah.
She's really the one in charge. But if you can help out with that, make sure you sign up for it. Also, if anybody in here has a hankering to do something with youth ministry, but you don't want to talk to the kids, okay? If you can help us out on Wednesday night, we need somebody that can play piano for 1 or 2 songs on Wednesday nights with the teens. We want to start teaching them some hymns and stuff like that, but nobody that works with the teens plays any instruments.
You don't have to lead music.
No, we just need somebody to play the piano. Michelle will lead the singing. So, just a couple hymns. If you can help us out, it'd be around 7:40 on Wednesday nights, just for 1 or 2 songs, and that'd be great. You don't even have to talk to the kids. If you have a piano downstairs, show up, play the piano, come upstairs. That's all you got to do. Okay. So if anybody knows anybody that plays the piano, or you play the piano, or guitar, we'll take a guitar. I'll take an accordion at this point. Anything that we can sing to. Okay. A kazoo, a comb with a wire, comb with a paper. I don't care. Anything. I can play that. But anyway, there you go. All right, let's sing something before I get stupid.
Okay, hymn number 452. 452. Jesus Christ was made to be all I need, all I need. He alone is all I need. He is all I need. Wisdom, righteousness, and power, holiness is very high. Praise the Lord.
Chris was telling me about speaking to the Spanish church this morning, this afternoon, and Angela sang for him, and he got to speak by way of an interpreter, and it was a real thrill to him, a real blessing. So I'm going to ask him next Sunday night, you be prepared to give a 10-minute message. Right here in this church, and you won't have to have an interpreter unless you speak in Alabama. Well, really, you wouldn't have to have an interpreter with this guy with Alabama. Before I forget it, I need to meet Malin and Grady and the Finance Committee, Barry, you two, for about 5 minutes after church tonight. Somebody's come to me with a need, and I want to talk to you about it and see what you get your ideas, your thoughts on it, okay? But anyway, I want to give you plenty of notice. Brother Billy.
Okay. Hymn number 255. I'm in thine. 255. Jesus has a table spread where the saints of God are fed. He invites his chosen people come and dine. Come and dine, the Master calls, come and dine. You may think that Jesus table all the time. He who fed the multitude. Can y'all sing louder? I can't hear y'all out there. I've been singing a couple of times. I can't hear y'all. All right, let's start all over again. Sing, y'all sing real loud. Help me out on this thing. That first verse again, real loud, all right? Jesus has a table spread where the saints of God are fed. He invites his chosen people, come and dine. With the sweat he can feed and supplies our every need. Won't you take the step with Jesus all the time? Come and dine, the Master calling, come and dine. Thinks that Jesus table all the time. He who fed multitudes turned the water into wine. To the hungry calling them, come and dine. The disciples came to land, thus obeying Christ's command. Our Master calling to them, come and dine. There they felt their heart's desire, bread and fish on the fire. Thus he satisfies the hungry every time. Come and dine, the Master calling, come and dine. He said Jesus table all the time. With the bread multitude, turn the water into wine. The hungry calling, come and dine. Soon the Lamb will take his pride to be ever at his side. All the hearts of heaven will sing away. Will be a glorious sign. All the saints and spotless light. And with Jesus they will meet eternally. Come and dine, the Master calling, come and dine. You may think that Jesus table all the time. He who fed multitudes turned the water into wine. To the hungry calling down, come and dine. Come and dine, the Master calling, come and dine. You may think that Jesus table all the time. He who fed multitudes turned the water into wine. To the hungry calling down, come and dine. Amen. Who's special? Who's special?
Debbie.
Come on, Debbie, I'm sorry.
Amen.
Never mind, I'll talk to you later. There will be no breakfast for the children next Sunday morning. They'll have to go hungry. I'm just teasing. They'll be out of town. It's a holiday weekend. We won't have the children's breakfast downstairs. So if any of y'all would like to come and bring something to share with the kids when they come in early next week, then you feel free to do that.
Betty had said she was going to bring some snacks to
Okay.
give to the teachers so they could have it in Sunday school.
Lost on the sea, on the way, at the sound, your great name, all condemned, feel no shame, at the sound of your great name, every fear has no place at the sound of your great name. The enemy, he has to leave at the sound of your great name. Jesus, worthy is the Lamb that was slain for us. Son of God and man, you are high and lifted up. And all the world will praise your great find their strength at the sound your great name. Hungry souls receive grace at the sound your great name. The fatherless, they find their rest at the sound of your great name. The sick are healed and the dead are raised at the sound of your great name. Jesus, worthy is the Lamb that was slain for us. Son of God, man, you are high and lifted up. And all the world will praise your great name. Your great Redeemer, my healer, Lord Almighty, my Savior, defender, you are mighty. Redeemer, my healer, Lord Almighty, my Savior, defender, you are mighty. Jesus. The name of Jesus, you are high and lifted up. All the world will praise your great name. Slain for us, Son of God and man, you are high and lifted up. And all the world will praise your great name. Your great
Very good.
Thank you so very much.
Amen.
I have the opportunity, I need, well, put it this way, there is a need that a young man has. Well, he's not such a young man, but he's legally blind. He can see light and shape, and then he's housebound. And he asked me if we could find somebody who would like to come over to his house once a week and minister to him and give him a Bible study. And he lives over toward Buford. He is Sue Hedden's stepson. His name is John, and I can get you the information and get you set up to do that. If you're free to do that, you don't have a regular schedule of work during the week that you can have some time to do that. You just like to have a Bible study with him, a fellowship with him, whatever you want to do. He would appreciate that because he can't get out and go to church, but he still needs the stimulus of and teaching and the preaching of the Word of God. So do think about that, and if that'd be something you'd be interested in, talk to me about it, and we'll get it set up. 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Everybody knows this chapter very well. It's the love chapter, as some people call it. And it's quite necessary that we remind each other that we're to love one another. As Christ has loved us, we're to love one another. And they knew that they were disciples because of their love. And it was one of the earmarks of the early church. Now, it doesn't take long for any organization to get infiltrated with those who are envious and jealous and hateful and things like that. And just want to get into a situation and they can spoil it real easily, real quickly. We've become our politicians fight and cheat and lie and cut and tell things on people that don't need to be told, shouldn't be told, are not true. And we get to the point sometimes where we do that too. And we ought not do that. We love one another. You can't be best friends with everybody, but you can be friends with everybody. Really. You don't have enough time in the day to be best friends with everybody. But you can be friendly with people. And he that has friends must show himself friendly. But then there's another step that goes beyond that, and that's that step of love. And love is the important thing. This chapter is an exposition of God's love. It defines love, or should we say it extols the virtue of love. The Bible, of course, uses the word charity, and everybody would like to just say substitute that with love, but I argue with you that the word charity is even a stronger word than love. Because love, in our normal sense of the word, means an attraction, a longing for, or things like that. But this word means more than that. It means to give of itself and to give to love for no cause, no reason. For God, I looked at Jessica when she was so young and beautiful as she is today, and I fell for her. And then as I look at our pictures, we have a place on our bedroom wall that has pictures of us from the time we got married all the way till just a few years ago. And I look at those pictures, and I am absolutely astonished at how beautiful she is. The Bible says, "Rejoice with the wife of thy youth," and I can see why I said I want her.
Amen.
Amen. I can see why I wanted her. And there is an attraction that love has, and then there's it can grow deeper if you just let it be an attraction. That's okay. That's one thing. I mean, you can be attracted to a lot of things, I suppose, but you get attracted. There's an attraction about somebody, and some people call it chemistry. I don't know what else you call it, but there's an attraction about somebody. So you want to know them. You want to get to understand them. You want to find out who they are and what they're like. And if they're beautiful on the inside like they are on the outside, then you fall in love with them. You fall in love with them. And there's a kind of love that just is more than just attraction. And this kind of love here is the kind of love that loves without a cause. It's the God kind of love. It is love that is being poured into the Christian's heart by the Holy Ghost. It's the blending of human sympathies and human compassion with divine sympathy and divine compassion. It's love supercharged, if you please. It's love manifested, not only in words, but in action. If you were to ask me, Pastor, and say, Pastor, what does 1 Corinthians chapter 13 mean? And he said, if you just said, well, what's it mean in a few words? I would say to you that it expresses, number one, the superiority of love above all else. That's what this chapter is declaring here, that love is above all else. First, I would say that it expresses the superiority of godly love. Godly love. I would say that it's the ability, it's greater than the ability of oratory or the ability to persuade people. Some people are real good talkers, aren't they? I mean, they can really talk people into anything. They're usually salesmen of some kind. They can talk. And I used to know a fellow, he'd say, that guy could sell sand to an Arab. And I still Eskimo. But some people can talk a good talk. And usually you can tell when it's just a talk that's being, just some sort of flattery or something. Some people can talk their way in and out of every situation. They're just good talkers, but love is greater than everything. He said, though I have the tongues of men and angels and have not charity, I'm nothing. Speech making is no big deal if you don't have love. Love is spiritual wisdom and knowledge. It's even above miracle working. He said, though I could cast mountains into the sea, if I don't have love, I'm nothing. It's greater than the ability to work miracles. It even rises above self-sacrifice, human sacrifice. He said, though I give my body to be burned, love is even greater than that sacrifice of it. You can't sacrifice enough of yourself that it will equal God's love for you. God's love is beautiful, it's attractive, it's comely, it's appealing in a person. And it's a real pleasure to behold. When Jesus came to the tomb of Lazarus, and the Bible said Jesus wept. You know what the next thing says? Somebody looked and said, wow, look at how much he loved him. Look at how much he loved him. He crying over this man. Look at how much he loved him. Well, I'm glad to say tonight he loves me just as much as he loved Lazarus.
Amen.
You see what he raised Lazarus from the grave? Well, he's going to do that to me too one day.
Amen.
You too, aren't is he not?
Amen.
He said it's greater than the resurrection power. It's beautiful. Beauty is defined as a quality present in a thing or in person that gives intense pleasure or deep satisfaction of mind.
Amen.
Whether it's rising from sensory manifestations such as shape, color, or sound, etc., or a meaningful design or pattern, or from something else, such as a personality in which a high spiritual qualities are manifested. Love is manifested. It's a quality present in something that is attractive. Do you think Christianity is attractive these days? Do you? Do you really think it is to the world? Do you think there ever was a time when it was attractive? Do you think it could be another time when it's attractive again? Some people have the idea that to be making yourself attractive, you got to paint your face like a barn door. Several thick layers of stuff. And I wish some of the teenagers were here to hear this, but I'd like to get some of these teenage girls in a room and tell them, listen, honey, you're pretty enough without cutting your shirt off at the waist and your britches off at the bottom of your table. Did you hear what I said? You said, I don't believe you said that, preacher. But wouldn't it be great to tell some of these young ladies, you don't have to trip, you don't have to look like, well, in Wales they'd say a trolley. You don't have to do that to be beautiful. All you got to do is just let Jesus Christ live in your life. Let the beauty and the love of God shine through you. The Bible said that in the old days, women of old, they did not adorn themselves in costly array and apparel and stuff, but they adorned themselves in the love and presence of God. I have met some of the most, visibly non-attractive people you've ever seen. But they were beautiful on the inside. Granny Trusty was a little dried up green bean. But a beautiful person. I'm telling you, it's a beautiful personality, a wonderful lady. I loved her to death. She'd say, preacher, if you keep preaching this long, I'm going to bring an old cold tater to church to eat it. Old-fashioned country girl, but she just had a beauty, sweet personality there. I know several people like that. There was a guy up there in Taylorsville called Lindy somebody, wasn't it? What was his name? Lindy something. And they said he was so ugly when he was born that his mother gave him away. And he was not very attractive. I mean, he was really not very, you remember what I'm talking about, don't you, Dr. Moore? I mean, he was a horror to look at. But he had such a beautiful personality that he was attractive. He was attractive to you. What I'm saying is, people who have a beauty, the beauty of God in their life, other people want to be lit with them and near them and around them. Nobody wants to be with somebody who's got an ugly attitude and personality and negative all the time. People want to be around other people who are kind and loving and have a beauty about them that is more than just on the outside, but deeper on the inside. This kind of love in this passage tonight is talking about a love that goes deeper than the skin, goes deeper than the face. It goes to the very depth of your heart, and it's birthed by the Holy Spirit, and it's poured into our hearts daily, according to Romans 5, verse 8. This is the kind of love that you and I must have for a lost and dying world, for if we don't, they will go to hell as we watch it go by. Love for people in a foreign land that you've never seen before. When I got called as a missionary to Wales, I tell you, man, before I even got there, I started loving those people. Just learning about them and getting there. And man, when I got there, it was awesome. I mean, it was amazing. We met A.T.B. Jones, Attaboy Jones. Great man, great young fellow. About as scrawny as I am, you know. Well, I got a little more meat on my bones than he did. And he was just the most lovely, pleasing fellow you ever saw in your life. And he said, mustn't worry. Wasn't him said, mustn't worry. Or whoever was that. Who?
Not to worry.
Not to worry. But he introduced me to Riding Trip. And Riding Trip was a real character. Handlebar mustache, perfect. Round, gray head with more bald, more skin than hair. And tall, dignified, a perfect Welshman. You remember him, don't you, Louise? But that guy, there was an attractiveness about him. Everybody that came to Wales went away remembering Riding Trip. They may not remember anyone else. Not Bill Cooper. Bill Cooper was the deacon who had the servant's heart. He see you squirming on your wooden seat, he'd go get you a pillow and let you sit on it. If he saw you coughing, he'd go get you a glass of water right in the middle of church. He was a serving deacon. Nobody remembers Bill Cooper. But they remember Riding Trip. I remember Bill as having a kind of beauty that Riding didn't have. Riding had the beauty that was, well, how can I say it? It was it kind of intrigued you. You became sort of affected by it. Bill had the personality that if you really got to know him, you would remember him in high esteem just as you would Riding. You would remember Riding for his boldness, for his language, for his speech. You would know Riding for his passion. But you didn't know Bill for his compassion, for his care and his love. There's been many people that I've met down through the years that have had a wonderful beauty about them. And that's what this passage is talking about. The kind of love that God has. The kind of love that transforms us, changes us, makes us a different person. The kind of love that puts glue in your relationship with Christ. The kind of love that puts tape, puts the glue and the sticker in your relationship with your wife and your children. It's unconditional love. John 3:16 didn't say anything about a condition, not one thing. No, it says, whosoever will. He said, for God so loved the world that whosoever will. He gave his only begotten Son that whosoever will may come. Whosoever will may come. He loves men unconditionally, regardless of their condition. It's hard to love some people, isn't it? I'm sure glad God loved me, though I could have been hard to love. The natural man, the unsaved man, he has a limited capacity for love, but the Christian has a tremendous capacity for love. You and I could make a difference in somebody's life if we just constantly show them the love of Christ. It's everlasting love. I love this verse, Jeremiah 31:3.
Yeah.
He says, "The Lord hath appeared of old unto me, saying, Yea, I have loved thee with an everlasting love. Therefore with loving kindness have I drawn thee." What's God saying? God saying, I saw you, I loved you, and I worked to woo you. I worked to bring you to me. So God's love is the kind of love that reaches out. Reaches out. It's an everlasting love. We're forever secure in His love. I preached out of Romans 8 the other night. Who shall separate us from the love of God which is in Christ Jesus? He went on to say, basically went on to say, nothing and nobody. It's the love that's eternal, as He is. It's redeeming love. What if God only loved a few? What if God left you out? If you were a hyper-Calvinist, and if you don't know anything about Calvinism, it teaches that only a few people who are chosen and elected and predestinated and foreordained before the foundation of the world are able to get saved. Wouldn't it be an awful thing, Grady, if you and your wife could get saved, but your kids couldn't get saved? How would you feel? I don't understand how would you feel about being a child of a God who would take you in but leave your children out? Do you think for 1 minute that God could, that the nature of God would allow Him to do that? Do you really think that the nature of God would allow Him to take in just a few and shut a lost and dying world out? You say, well, is it just a few that will be saved? Compared to the multitudes, yes, there will be few that will be saved. But the wonderful thing is that everybody could be saved. And everybody who would be saved could be saved if they trust Christ as their Savior. But how are they going to know that unless they are told Jesus loves you? You know, there's several kinds of signs we can put up on the billboard out there. Some signs give information about meetings. Other signs, send a message. Like one year on the sign out there, it's Mother's Day. I said, shock your mama. Go to church on Mother's Day. That's conveying a subtle message, you know, like, hey, shock your mama. Do something to shock your mama. Go to church on Mother's Day. There is another you can just put up there, heaven or hell. Which for you? You can put up there any number of things to startle people. One of the most powerful things you can put on any marquee is that God loves you. Jesus loves you. Redeeming love. I can't swim. I can't float. Can you float? The density of my body mass is kind of like a boulder, a rock. Jessica, on the other hand, is like a cloud. She just barely touches the water when she lays down. She floats. If she were to, did you hear about that lady last week that fell off that cruise ship? And was 10 hours in the ocean before they found her? I would have not lasted 10 minutes. How in the world did she do that? She had the ability to float. Now, redeeming love. Why would God redeem me and leave somebody else out? Because, let's say, if there was an ability that you had and I didn't have, What would that do in disqualifying me and making you acceptable? The thing is, we're all sinners. We all need salvation. We all need to be redeemed. And there's not one thing in us that makes you better than me, even if you can float. Are you a Christian? Then it's because God devised the plan to redeem you. He sought you, and He brought you and brought you to Himself. The giving of His Son was the ultimate price to pay. I just don't know. What about your grandkids? Most of your grandparents? Is there anything you would not do to protect your grandkids? Is there anything you would not do to protect those children? I can't think of anything that a truly loving mother or father would not do to protect their kids. To give for them and for their safety and for their security. The giving of His Son was the ultimate act of sacrifice. Now we think sometimes we make sacrifices. I talked to someone today and he was talking about tithing and how difficult it was when they were trying to get started tithing. I said, it is a sacrifice. But it's nothing compared to the one Jesus made for you and for me. Nothing whatsoever. What does the Bible say? But God commended His love toward us in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. That verse becomes more and more precious to me all the time. Christ died for me. What a wonderful verse. It's patient love. I've been talking a lot about patience this year. Really, I have. My new motto, as I told you, is patience shall or will prevail. Just be patient. Sometimes we get so in a hurry, we want God to do it, and we want Him to do it right now. I've been asking y'all to pray for my grandson. And I'll tell you, we got some very good encouragement this week. My daughter got a new promotion at work, and she is moving on up in the ladder, to be a boss over a nursing section. Angel's in school doing well. Drew is 4th in his class, and went out and celebrated his 16th birthday. I can be very proud of my family, my kids. The one thing that I want them to know is that whether they're doing good or whether they're doing bad, I love them.
Amen.
I love them. And that's where you are with your kids. You say, well, they don't do the things that I want to do. Well, be patient, trust God, keep praying, keep loving them, be patient with them. I marvel at the patience of God. He's always there in time to help, but just when I need Him. He's not just patient with me, though. He's patient with everybody. God would be justified if He were to send the whole world to hell right now. Wouldn't He? He'd be justified in doing that. If you and I were to be, if somehow we could be lost again and die and go to hell, you know what we'd have to say? I deserve to be here. Thank God for His grace, amen? Thank God we can't be lost again. Thank God we'll never be lost again. This is love that reaches beyond human comprehension. Is there anybody that you can't love? Really, is there anybody that has got such a situation, they've treated you in such a way that you just cannot love that person? Have you ever had anybody to do you wrong, or it caused emotional injury to you, and you said, I'll never forgive that person? Anybody ever done that? Has anybody ever had somebody do something to them like that, and you found that it took years to forgive them? I know somebody that way. I told a friend the other day, I said, I have finally forgiven. And I named the fellow. And we went on and talked about the situation that had occurred, that had offended and affected both of us deeply. And I went on and talked about it. And I have finally forgiven that man. It was a pain. It was a hurt. It was devastation in my life. And this companion, this work fellow of mine, did the things he did and said the things he said. Oh, it was hard. I just wondered if I could ever trust him and love him again. But I have forgiven him. See, anybody like that y'all been dealt with? Is there anybody like that you need to forgive? You say, how can I do it? For love's sake. God's love is unconditional. It's unending. It's unchanging.
Amen.
It's undeserved.
That's right.
But it ought to be wonderfully and graciously desired. Oh, to God, that I could love you like Jesus loves me. Oh, that we could love others like Jesus loves us. Jesus said, as my Father has loved me, so have I loved you. The same kind of love that God had for His Son, God has for you. I want you to look at yourself tonight and say, God loves me. You know, when I was going through that depression a while back, I was sitting on the end of the couch, and I had a book beside me that the doctor that somebody would give me to encourage me. And all of a sudden, I said to myself, I am loved by my family. I have a loving wife, grandchildren. I have a family that loves me. And then I said, I have a church that loves me. You may think this is really funny and kind of silly, but I said, I have a church that loves me. I have friends that love me. And all of a sudden, then I got the feeling a whole lot better. I remember that little song we used to sing when I was a kid. Nobody loves me, everybody hates me. Think I'll eat worms. Little bitty skinny ones, big fat long ones. Oh, how they wiggle and squirm. You know that song? You've never, that is the kids' version of blue, despair, and agony on me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can tell yourself all you want to, that you're insignificant, that you don't mean anything to anybody, that nobody cares about you, but that is a lie of the devil. I always tell young men and teenagers, I said, some of y'all are going to get out in sin. I want you to know this one thing. When you get tired of it, there's somebody back at the church and the preacher loves you. I can't tell you how pleased I was to see Neil stand up over there this morning. You know why Neil was able to stand up over there this morning and be a part of this church? Because a long, long time ago, when he was about 12 or 13 years old, somebody in this church brought him to church, took him into Sunday school class, taught him and his sister and his brother, and they all got saved. Cody got saved. And you know these 4 boys who stood up here this morning? They are 6, 7, 8 years, maybe 10 years away from being those older, grown-up men now. But wouldn't it be great that 12, 15 years down the road, those same 4 boys walk through those doors on Sunday morning or into a Sunday school class to take a place of service? Wouldn't it be great if we could just love a whole bunch of people to Jesus?
Amen.
And love them and nurture them until they become steadfast and solid Christians. Many times we look at those people, and I'm going to be blunt with you, we look at those people who live down the streets in the neighborhoods, and we think they don't have a chance in life. Let me tell you something. They may look like they don't have a chance in life, but they got a chance with God.
That's right.
We ought to give them every opportunity we can to take that chance.
Amen.
Thank you for your support in this ministry. Thank you for loving this preacher and his family. Thank you for loving this church. Thank you for loving these people who come in these doors. Thank you for loving my Jesus. Thank you for having a real, genuine, compassionate love. The love of Jesus Christ. Simple sermon,
Good message.
big thought. Lord, bless us tonight as we dismiss the service. We have our offering. Get ready to go to our home. Lord, remind us today, tomorrow, and throughout the week ahead that we should love others like you loved us. That when we serve others, may we serve them in the spirit and kindness and gentleness of Christ. In Jesus' name, amen. Come on, Cindy, play something while we take up this offering. Don't forget Wednesday night, the children's meetings. And do pray for Andrew's need if you're interested in playing the keyboard or piano for them a little bit. Nice piano downstairs where they meet. You can play that. One of the boys came to me this morning and said, you know, since we're getting some more teenagers in the church, he said, we need to have some livelier music. And he wasn't talking about the new modern song. He was just talking about having some livelier music. I said, well, I'll talk to him about it. I'll talk to him about it. And so, these kids are looking and they're thinking. And they're wondering where their place is. Let's see if we can help them find it, all right? We already prayed about the offering, so y'all go ahead and get it there. And don't forget about the funeral arrangements. And be at the funeral home visit if you want to, if you can. Monday night. Thank you very much. Don't get to meet with me. Grady, Bill, Barry,